Hi, this is Dr. John McGrail. Welcome back to A Better You in a Minute or Two. Today's episode is entitled How Right You Are. And before we jump into that, I would just like to take a moment to acknowledge all the folks who have taken the time and are taking the time to send me feedback from our last episode, which you may remember was entitled The Artist Within. And that was all about learning and mastering the Art of Allowance, one of the most powerful interpersonal skills you can ever use. It makes your life so much better. If you missed that episode, you can find it on my YouTube channel, Dr. John McGrail. It's episode number 26, and of course all the other episodes are there too. There's a lot of really good stuff, all dedicated to helping you live more powerfully, so I do hope you'll check it out. But I got such great feedback from the Art of Allowance. In fact, I'm going to share a couple of the emails I got with you because I think they're priceless. The first one was from a lady in Colorado Springs, Colorado, Michaela M., who wrote to say, Dr. John, a friend of mine shared this video with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing. Share these, share these, share these. Thanks so much. I have a coworker who I've been dealing with for 5 years who is the biggest buffoon and pain in the ass in the world. He actually drives me crazy. After watching your video, I decided to try the Art of Allowance. The first time I tried it, I waited too long because I was already in the meeting when I remembered, and by that time I was already pissed off. The second time, however, I started that energy before I went in. I decided to allow him to be the buffoon he is and watched him buffoon his way through the meeting while I felt absolutely amazing. I watched with, quote, detached amusement and left feeling wonderful. Thank you so much, Michaela. Well, Michaela, my pleasure. The second one is from a gal named Jackie S. in L.A., who wrote to say, Dr. John, I must say that I viewed your video with skepticism. The jerks in my life are in my family. Well, that's not terribly unusual. And last week I had to go to a reunion. I decided to try it because I knew the rest of the day was going to be miserable if I didn't. And to my amazement, I just slid through the afternoon feeling absolutely amazing, just letting them be the jerks they are. You may well have just saved Thanksgiving and Christmas for me. Well, Jackie, happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas. But the Art of Allowance really does work incredibly well. Now, today's episode, as I mentioned, is entitled How Right You Are. And I get this from one of my favorite thinkers and writers, Dr. Richard Carlson, who wrote one of my favorite books. I've mentioned it before, and I'll mention it again. Don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. I highly recommend it to everybody. But anyway, what Dr. Carlson wrote about was kind of like the Art of Allowance on steroids. Because, you know, of those jerky, irky people in our life, and again, we all have them, probably the jerkiest and irkiest are the ones that are so insecure they just have to be right no matter what. They will argue until the cows come home and never give an inch. They'll tell you that Wednesday comes before Tuesday, and they'll try to prove it to you. Now, when you're dealing with those people, you really can get irksome. You can get angry and resentful. You can get into arguments, and of course, you never win them. It never works out really well. So, is there a better solution when you have to be with people like that? Well, yes, there is, as the title suggests. If you've got someone that's just standing their ground and has to be right, here's what you do. The Art of Allowance on steroids. You say, you know what? You're right. You're right. I didn't think of that. You're right. You're right. How right you are. Rightio. You are right. Now, when you do that, a couple of things are going to happen. First, this poor little insecure person is going to feel validated. You're going to see their feathers get all plumped up, and they're going to have their little moment in the sun, and great, let them have it. What's going to happen to you? Well, inside, you know you're right. You know they're wrong, but you are allowing them to be right. Because why not? So what happens inside is that you feel this incredible sense of sort of magnanimous behavior, and you know, you feel really self-satisfied. And it's okay to feel that way once in a while. I don't advocate ego trips, but why not? Give them a gift, feel really good and powerful about giving them the gift, and off you go. Now, like the Art of Allowance, there are exceptions, of course. If letting someone be right is going to cause damage or harm to a person or an innocent or make a situation worse, well, you can't let it go. You can't let them be right in that situation. So you've got to stand your ground. But most of the time, you know, this is just like a little hill of beans in the big anthill of life. Wait a minute. I don't know if that metaphor works. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Just let them be right. How right you are. You'll feel great, they'll feel great, and life goes on. Now, there is one thing to think about. Make sure that you're not one of them, because you know there's us, we know, and there's them, they don't know. If you're a them, like you have to be right all the time and you're a control freak and it really irks you, well, maybe you want to think that through. Is it really that important? And are you really right? But if you're one of us, which I'm sure you are because you're watching this, and you know they're them, let them be right once in a while. Let them be right all the time as long as it doesn't hurt anybody. Now, once again, I'm going to ask, as I mentioned at the beginning of the program, I so appreciate the feedback, but even more, I appreciate you sharing this video with everybody you know. And the reason is this. The more of us there are, the fewer of them there will be. The more of them we can turn into us, the happier we will be. And of course, this whole program is about making you happier. It's all about a better you. So thanks for sharing. Thanks for watching. Let them be right. See you next time.